What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? You're tuned in to the Dugout Discussions podcast as part of the NGSC Sports Network, where every home run, out, strikeout, triple, double, single counts. On tonight's show, we have a stacked show for you. We are going over our first half of our top 50 prospects tier list, which you will see live on the show. We are going to introduce a new segment called Round the Bases, where we cover everything going on in MLB. We will talk about Torpedo bats. We will talk about the update on the Rays stadium situation, or give our picks to click, and much more. And how, before we get to the segment with our first half of our top 50 prospects, how it's going to work is we are going to tier list the prospects we have, and we put one of them on the list, and then my co-host will jump in and he'll give you stats, their MLB ETA, and when you should expect them to be called up.
Yes, I will.
And yep, this is it right here. So our number 50 prospect is Mariners catcher Harry Ford. And here is my co-host with a breakdown on Harry Ford.
Okay, guys. Harry Ford was one of the top prep backstop and the second highest ranked catcher 2021 draft class. He was taken by the Mariners, number 12 overall. In his minor league career, he has a combined 265 walks with a 4.04 on-base percentage heading into this year. He's also able to steal bases. He stole 35 last year in 2024 and 82 bags over 3 years, giving him the 2020 potential. He's still working on his defense. He is currently with the AAA Tacoma with the Mariners, where he is currently. Let's see here. How did I have? He's currently hitting 185, but again, guys, it's early in the minor league season, so you can't really look at that. His on-base percentage is 378 with a slugging percentage of 222. It's early on. He does have 5 hits, 1 double, and he's got 3 RBIs with 8 walks and 8 strikeouts. Guys, when it comes to catchers, obviously it depends on when or how you call them up. And we all know in baseball, there's 2 types of catchers. You have one that can hit or one that can play defense. If you can find one that can do both, that's outstanding. Ford might be one of those types of guys that might be one of those all-around catchers. So we'll have to see. I'm not sure, guys, when the Mariners are going to call him up. I'm not sure what the catching situation is currently with the Mariners at this time.
He's currently blocked by Cal Raleigh, who the Mariners just gave an extension to. So I'm wondering if maybe they would use him in a trade.
That could be, bud. I mean, obviously, like I said, right now he's only hitting 185, but it's still early in the minor league season. So I wouldn't think that it wouldn't get. I have a funny thing; it's going to get better. Just to say that. So
I do too. Our number 49 prospect is a guy you might have heard of his dad because he played for the Rays and the Red Sox. Carl Crawford, his son Justin. And here is my co-host with his stats.
I wasn't sure when I saw that name earlier. I wasn't sure if he was related to Carl or if he was related. I forget the other Crawford I was thinking of. So
were you thinking of the
Justin,
one on the Red? You were thinking of the one on the Red Sox.
yeah, that's probably what I was thinking.
No, that is
So
Justin. Justin is Carl's son.
okay, so he is a left-handed hitter like his dad. I think Carl was a left-handed hitter, if I'm mistaken.
Yes, he was. Like father, like son.
He was drafted in the 2022 draft. He's lived up to the billing. He reached AAA just last year in 2024. He, guys, is currently in Lehigh Valley, and that is a team that I cover their single A affiliate, the Threshers. Lehigh Valley is the Phillies AAA team. That would be interesting for him to play in the National League, but that's pretty cool. He's currently hitting .254 with an on-base percentage of .302. His slugging percentage is .339. His OPS is .641. He's had 15 hits so far this season, 7 RBIs, 1 triple, 1 double, 4 walks, and 10 strikeouts so far. But he's got 5 stolen bases so far this year too. And if you guys remember correctly, what Carl Crawford cheered for him as a Red Sox or as a Ray, he did steal a lot of bases. That was the reason why they had him a lot. So look for him to be up there, like my co-host said, like father, like son.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah. See, but the problem with the Phillies outfield right now is it's just the logjam. You've got Alec you got Brandon Marsh, you've got Johan Rojas, you've got Nick Castellanos, you've got Max Kepler. That's 5 outfielders right there. I mean, obviously you could trade Castellanos, but I don't think anybody would want the contract he's on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you got Bryce Harper, first base, who obviously he's already said that if the Phillies were to get a good first baseman, he'd move back to the outfield. So that makes that logjam in the outfield even worse. Our next prospect is Giants first baseman Bryce Eldridge.
Bryce Eldridge.
At number 47.
Let's see here. I just want to make sure I got a long list of notes.
48. Here. 48, I mean. Number 48.
Let's see. Here. I know he's. Oh, there he goes. Cool. So Bryce Eldridge.
I know he's in AAA.
Yeah, but he is currently. Let's see here. Make sure I got this right. Yeah, he's currently in AAA. So far this season, he has. What is there? That's interesting. Okay. He was drafted in 2023. He was. An ankle injury limited him on the mound. And that's why, because he's a pitcher, not a hitter. Okay. He signed a $3 million, almost a $4 million signing bonus, his 16th overall pick. He advanced from single A to triple A at the age of 19. Let me just tell you how cool that is to go from A ball to triple A ball at that young of an age.
He skipped a whole minor league level.
Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He skipped a whole minor league level. Pretty cool. He has won a gold medal in the under-18 World Cup. So again, so obviously he's doing very well. I don't see anything though, but about his 2025 season. Maybe he hasn't had a start this year. I don't know, but I only have 2024 for him. And in 2024, he had, let's see, because he had, that can't be right, 4 teams in 2024. That doesn't make any sense. Because unless he was demoted back down, which that doesn't.
No, he probably started in like complex league, then went up to low A ball, then went up to high A, and then went up to triple A. That would be why, probably.
Yeah, because they say he's 6'7", tall kid.
Tall drink of water.
He actually, from what I'm reading, but in my notes, that he is actually a hitter and a pitcher, so he does both, not just one. He does both.
What I've heard, and I was watching some of the spring training for the Giants. They're trying to get him to focus on hitting exclusively.
Okay.
Trying. Is it going to work? Probably not.
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
I think I missed one. There we go. So that was number 48. Our number 47 prospect is Max Clark of the Tigers. And this is the first of 2 Tigers prospects you're going to hear about in this part of our rankings.
Max Clark was a standout on the local 2023 game, Indiana Player of the Year. The Tigers selected him 3rd overall in the 2023 draft and inked him to a below $7.7 million deal to get him signed. Left-hander, he hits for power. He's currently in, I believe, in Triple A.
He is.
Play.
See, but the same problem arises with the Tigers that arises with the Phillies. The Tigers have a log jam in the outfield.
Correct.
You got Riley Green. You got Kerry Carpenter, who could play the outfield. You got like 6 or 7 guys that can play in the outfield. Mm-hmm. Justin Henry Malloy. So you gotta and I don't think he's probably 3rd or 4th on the depth chart to be called up. And I don't think he's on the 40-man. That would be another thing.
Yeah.
So our number 46 prospect is Brady House of the Nationals, who I thought was going to make their team out of spring training, but he didn't. And here is my co-host.
Okay. Brady House. Here we go. Okay, so he is out of Georgia. He plays shortstop. He signed a $5 million deal with 5th overall by the Nationals. He was limited in single A to 45 games with an injury. But he broke out 2 years ago, where he hit .312 in Double A Harrisburg. Now he aggressively pushed to Triple A Rochester a month after his 21st birthday. Well, he had subpar results there, but he has. I mean, so far this year he's hitting .280 with a .321 on base percentage, .440 slugging with an OPS of .761. He's got 14 hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 1 homer, 8 RBIs, 3 walks, and 18 strikeouts so far this season. But they say that he is, well, up to this point, he has no stolen bases, but they do say that he's a better runner than his stolen bases indicate. So they are trying to get to steal bases, which is very vital in Major League
Baseball. Yeah. Our number 45 prospect is Brewers right hand. No, he's a lefty, I believe. Brewers pitching prospect Jacob Mazarowski is our number 45 prospect. And while my co-host is looking up his stats, the one thing about Mazarowski is, and the Brewers, their commentary teams talked about it, because sometimes they'll talk about guys that are in like AAA. They said the one problem Mazarowski has is he gets into these grooves where he strikes out a lot of guys, but he also walks a lot of guys.
Yes, he was drafted in 2022 by the Brewers. He signed a $2.35 million contract. He has solidified his place in the national team with 110 strikeouts in 71 and a third innings across the 3 levels per season. He was slowed by arm fatigue. He spent 2024 in Double-A Biloxi, where he finished with a 3.50 ERA with 105 strikeouts, 50 walks in 7 2/3 innings, but he was flipped to the bullpen. August promotion to AAA Nashville. He is also 6'7", and he can reach triple digits with his fastball. It sits around 97, 99 miles an hour. And so far this year, he has pitched in 1 game with an ERA of 0.66. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's filthy, I'd say.
My fault. I'm sorry. He has 1 win, 3 games. He's started 2. He's pitched 13 2/3 innings, only given up 3 hits, 10 walks, 16 strikeouts. That is pretty good so far this year.
That's pretty good, but the number that stands out to me there is not the strikeouts. It's the walks. 10? And how many innings did you say?
He has pitched 13 and 2/3. So he averages about a walk an inning if you want to kind of get technical, almost a walk an inning. He gives it up. That's not good.
He's got a. And look at the Brewers. They've had so many pitching injuries. And I'm surprised that he has not been at least talked about getting called up. Even though he has that.
Yeah.
Even though he has that issue of walking people. Our number 44 prospect is Padres infielder, shortstop, Leonardus DeVries.
DeVries, okay. He was drafted number 1. He's number 1 ranked talent in 2023. He's a catcher. He drafted by the Padres. Spent a $4.2 million.
I thought he was a shortstop.
Well, okay, so check this out. As it's read, as with the I'm sorry, my fault. I read that incorrectly. He's a shortstop, $4.2 million, shortstop to a full season, quickly to Single A Lake, 3 months after signing. He's a switch hitter, which is awesome because then that way you can put him out there.
And I believe he's only 18.
That is correct. He's 18. Actually, you know what? He's a multi-sport athlete as well. He was a point guard in the Dominican Republic for their basketball team. That's pretty good. He's a multi-athlete. So far, he is in A+ ball. So if you guys don't know, I cover the Threshers. That's the low A team. So when it comes to A ball, you have a low A and a high A. He is currently in high A. So far, he is hitting 172 with an on-base percentage of 250. slugging at 172. His OPS is 422. That's in 7 games. He's had 29 at-bats, 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 RBIs, 3 walks, but he has 8 strikeouts and 1 stolen base. So he's struggling with the strikeouts at the moment. But he's an A-ball, which means most likely if he does get promoted, it'll be to Double-A before unless the Padres really need a shortstop
And
real bad.
hold your horses. He's only 18.
Yeah, correct. He's still young. Correct.
He's not Jackson Merrill, who won a spot out of camp at, I think, 21, 22 years old last year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And who just got rewarded with a big-time contract. DeVries is going to be up probably within the next, I'm going to say 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh,
so
yes,
that is
absolutely.
Our number 44 prospect. Our number 43 prospect is a guy in a race system that you have heard me talk about numerous times on this show, Chandler Simpson. And my co-host has also heard me talk about him, and here's my co-host with his stats.
Okay. Let's see here.
And again, he is the first Ray that you're going to hear about in these rankings. We have 1 Ray today, and then we have a couple on Thursday. And as me and my co-host discussed, we will redo these rankings if any of these guys get called up or promoted to a new level.
Okay, Simpson might be the most intriguing player in the minors. He was taken in the 2022 draft. He's from Georgia Tech. He's stolen 94 bases in 2023, tied for most in the majors. He leads minor league baseball with 104 last year without hitting a single home run. I just want to point. Did not hit a single home run last year in the minors. He
Ridiculous.
is currently with the Durham Bulls, which is the AAA affiliate of the Tampa Bay Rays. And in 15 games, he's hitting .297 with an on-base percentage of 331.
That's disgusting.
313. His slugging percentage is 328. His OPS is 641. He has 19 hits, 11 runs, 1 triple, 8 RBIs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. But he has 8 stolen bases in those 15 games. So again,
you want to know, I've watched some of his highlights. You want to know how he gets those base hits? It's little check swings out in front of the plate that he beats out, and it's just like, really? You're just gonna let him? It's either check swings or he bunts.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
And I can say this too, and I've noticed this in a couple minor league games that I've attended as a media member or as a fan. They bunt in the minor leagues. They don't bunt a lot in the majors. They bunt in the minor leagues. They get people over. So, yeah, he can use that to his advantage with his speed. Absolutely.
Our number 42 prospect is another Tigers prospect. It is Kevin McGonigal.
Okay, Kevin.
And I know he's blocked right now because the Tigers have Colt Keith and Gleyber Torres. He's a middle infielder.
Okay, so he was taken in 2023. 37th overall at the time. He was in single A action. The Florida State League is actually where the Threshers play. That's who I cover. Lakeland is one of the teams that's in there. In 2024, guys, he hit .326 with an on-base percentage of .407, slugging percentage of .470. He only had 24 strikeouts to 35 walks in 60 games. That's not bad. That's not bad.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
No. Let's see. Currently, he is in high A ball as well. He has been in only one game so far with 5 at bats. He's hitting 400 with an on base percentage of 400,
Ridiculous.
60% 100, and his OPS is 1.200. He has 2 hits, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, and no strikeouts, and no walks, and no stolen bases so far. But he's only been in one game so far in high A ball for the Tigers. So, yep.
So that was 43. Number 42 prospect for us is Colson Montgomery of the White Sox.
Montgomery. Okay. Let's see.
And ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you are going to see this and you're going to say, whoa, some of these guys are way too low. Please let us know in the comments of this episode whether you think some of our guys are too low in our rankings or too high.
What I'm going to say, guys, too, is if you've never been to a minor league game, I suggest going if you're a baseball fan because they are fun. I've had a blast at the 3 that I've been to so far this year. So there's Montgomery. Okay, so he actually is also a multi-sport athlete, scoring 1,966 points in basketball in Indiana. Chance to attend college on a basketball and baseball scholarship, but he was drafted in 2021 by the White Sox. He struggled last year in AAA, where he only hit 214 with an on-base percentage of 320 with 18 home runs in 130 games. But, guys, he's only 22. So, again, pump the brakes. Still a young kid. So far this year, paper not agreeing with me right here. He is currently in AAA as well. He has been in 13 games so far. He's hitting 122. His on-base percentage is 204. His slugging percentage is 245. He's got 6 runs, 6 hits. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. 4 RBIs, 3 walks. He has 26 strikeouts so far this year. That's why his batting average is not the greatest at 122. But, yeah, that's where he sits.
I'm going to say this. The White Sox do not need to rush him to the big leagues.
No.
They are not playing for anything.
Nope. They're in the middle of a rebuild anyway, so let the kid develop a little bit, bring him up when the time is right. Yeah.
Our number 40 prospect is Mets pitcher Blade Tidwell. And first of all, I just want to say that is a great name.
Okay.
Absolutely A+ on the first name.
There we go. Blade Tidwell. Okay,
And again, this is also the first Mets prospect we will talk about. There's one other Mets pitching prospect that we will talk about on Thursday.
He was drafted, guys, in 2022, and it's the second round. He signed a $1.85 million deal. He was a strikeout machine in his first full season in high A ball in Brooklyn. And in double A Bennington, he fanned 153 in 116 innings. So the kid can strike people. Wow.
Did I hear that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
He might be getting called up soon. The Mets have some issues in their rotation.
Well, he started off 2024 well, with a 2.41 ERA with 44 strikeouts and 7 appearances. That was 5 starts. But it came off when they sent him up to AAA Syracuse, where he posted a 5.93 ERA with 77 strikeouts and 53 walks in 85 innings. Let's see, has he got a game in this year? Let's see here for a second. So he has. So he has 3 games so far this year. He's 0-2 with a 6.23 ERA, 13 innings pitched. He's given up 10 hits, 1 homer, 8 walks, 15 strikeouts so far this year in AAA Syracuse for Tidwell. So where he stands.
That is our number 39 prospect. Number 38 is another pitcher, and he's in the Marlins system. And again, he has one of the best names, Noble Meyer.
Noble Meyer.
Some of these names we've gone over today are just amazing. McGonigal, Blade,
Yep.
Noble.
He is from Jesuit High School in Portland, Oregon. He was the best high school pitching prospect twice in 4 drafts. First in 2020, then he was picked in 2023. Excuse me. The Marlins signed him to a $4.5 million deal as the 10th overall pick. He pitched in 2 levels. Meyer advanced to high A ball. He has the pitch that gets him, that is one of his best, is his changeup that averages between 83 and 85. And he has a curveball that goes 79 miles an hour. Both show flashes of becoming solid pitches. Obviously, he'll have to develop those. Currently, guys, he has started. He is in high A ball. He has 1 game started. He pitched 4 2/3. He gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, but he gave up no runs so far this year. So his ERA is 0.00 because he's not given up a run yet. So, he's got 2 walks, 2 strikeouts in that 1 start. But that is a pretty cool name, by the way.
It is.
Go, pretty cool name. That's a pretty cool name.
Number 30 or number 37 prospect is Spencer Jones of the Yankees.
Okay.
Who had a chance to make the Yankees out of spring training, but obviously he probably wouldn't have gotten regular playing time. Seeing as though their outfield is kind of stacked. And we'll talk about somebody in their outfield later on.
I'm sorry, but who was it again? I'm sorry. Lost the name here.
Spencer Jones, our number 38 prospect.
There we go. Spencer Jones. All right. He is one of the best 2A prospects in the 2019 draft. He became a full-time outfielder following surgery to repair a fracture in his pitching elbow. So he had Tommy John surgery in July of 2020. But he was a first-round pick. 2022, he signed a $2.8 million deal. He totaled 33 homers and 68 steals in 2 full pro seasons. He ranked 2nd in the minors with 200 strikeouts last year in 2024. Currently, he is with in Double-A in 2025. He's had 9 games, 31 at-bats. He has 8 runs, 9 hits, 1 double, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 6 walks, 14 strikeouts. He's hitting .290. His on-base percentage is .421 with a slugging percentage of .631. His on-base percentage is 1.034. So that is where Mr. Jones sits.
Okay, the next one is Charlie Condon. He's our number 37 prospect.
Charlie Condon. Ah, there we go. Yes, he was the second one I have. Okay. Charlie Condon. All right, so he pitched with Georgia in the SEC. He won the Golden Spikes in 2024. He hitting 433 with 37 homers. His OPS was 1.565. He ended up going number 3 to the Rockies. He struggled during his 25-game pro debut. He played with a hand injury. Condon is 6'6". He is currently with High A ball in Spokane. He has played 25 games already. That makes sense. 25 games.
Yeah, because I think High A starts a little earlier than. I know AAA starts first. Then I think it's High A ball, Low A, Double A.
So he's in 25 games. He has 100 at bats, 6 runs, 18 hits, 4 doubles, 1 triple, 1 homer, 11 RBIs, 4 walks, 34 strikeouts, 4 stolen bases. He's hitting 180, on base range of 284, slugging 270. His OPS is 518 so far in the IA start of the season.
That is our number 37 prospect, Charlie Condon. Number 36 is another guy's last name that might sound familiar, and that is Drew Jones.
Drew Jones.
The son of former, I believe it's Diamondbacks, and his dad, Andrew, played in the majors.
The famous Andrew Jones.
Yes.
Who played for the Atlanta Braves. He was the high school player of the year in 2022. At that time he won a Class A private school state championship. He was picked 2nd overall in July by the Diamondbacks, earning an 8.189 signing bonus. Single A in 2024, guys. He had 275. On base percentage is 409. Slugging percentage is 405 with 6 homers and 21 steals in 109 games. So far, and he's only 21, by the way. He is currently also in High A ball. 9 games so far for him. He's at 39 at-bats, 15 runs, 15 hits, 3 doubles, 7 RBIs, 5 walks, 11 strikeouts, 3 stolen bases, but he's hitting 385 with an on-base range of 455. His slugging percentage is 462, and his on OPS is 917. So he is off to a blazing start in single A ball. He's off.
Someone might say, "Don't touch him. You might get burned."
Correct. That is correct. That is correct.
And that is our number 36 prospect, Drew Jones. We have another Nationals prospect. It is pitcher Harleen Susana. He's our number 35 prospect.
Susana. There we go. Susanna. Okay. He was ranked as the top pitcher in the 2022 international class, signed with the Padres for a $1.7 million deal. They sent him stateside to compete in the Arizona Complex League to begin his his age 18 season. He was sent to Single A Fredericksburg after a trade. Turned in 2023, opened 2024 back in the Carolina League. He had a 8.89 ERA with 19 walks in 26 and a third innings. Although his first 3 starts last season, but quickly corrected that because he ended the season with a 2.79 ERA, 123 strikeouts, and 29 walks in 77 and a third innings over his final 18 starts in High A Wilmington. He is currently in High A ball as well. He started 2 games. He is 0-1 with an ERA of 2. He's given up 7 hits, 5 walks, 13 strikeouts. Not too shabby this early in the season, I would say.
Me either.
I would say.
Next is our number 34 ranked prospect in Gavin Cross.
Gavin Cross. Okay. There's Gavin. Gavin Cross. Okay. So he was selected number 9 overall in the 2022 draft out of Virginia Tech by the Kansas City Royals. He started off pretty well, but came to a screeching halt in High A ball in 2023. He only hit 203 with an on-base percentage of 298, slugging percentage of 378. But he had a illness that was called Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever. Wow, that's that cross of his strength. He came back in 2024, and he's now hitting 261, 342, 428 with 15 home runs in 101 games in Double A. He is currently in Triple A, guys. He has had 8 games so far, 33 at-bats, 9 runs, 9 hits, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, 6 walks, 11 Ks. He's hitting 273, on-base percentage of 375, slugging of 333, and his OPS is 708. Again, that's not too bad either for early in the season. So
he is our number 34 prospect. Number 33 is a guy that might be called up by the A's at some point this year, and Mr. Nick Kurtz.
Nick Kurtz. Okay. I saw him too. There's Nick Kurtz. Okay. So he came up. He played his first 2 seasons in college at Wake Forest. He was in the conversation for the top pick in 2024. He was slowed by a shoulder injury that took him longer to get over. He ended up leading all Division 1A hitters with 763 for the year before landing the number 4 overall pick by the A's. We signed him to a 7-year deal. And what did I do? Oh, crap. What did I do? Oh, shoot. I have lost his stats. Oh, crap. Hang on a minute, guys. I lost his stats. I had my paperwork here, and I lost his stats. Hang on just a second. I'll look him up real quick. give you his breakdown. Okay, so he is in AAA with the A's, and like my co-host said, most likely he will be called up. So far this year, he's at 64 at bats, 7 homers, 22 RBIs. He's hitting 344 right now. His
Nothing to sneeze at.
His OPS is 1.152. So yes, I could see Nick being called up anytime. He's only 22, guys. And he's only 22.
Problem is, where would you put him? Because he's kind of blocked at first base. Tyler Soderstrom has, I dare to say, broken out, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe DH, and you have him split time at DH with Brett Rooker. But if you call somebody like him up, he's got to play every day.
I was going to say, yeah, but definitely. You're going to call him up. That's definite. Yep, you're definitely right.
So that was our number 33 prospect? Yeah. Number 32 is Chase Burns of the Reds.
Chase Burns.
We got one more pitcher and one more position player. Our tier rankings for our prospects stop at number 30. 29 through number 1 will be on Thursday.
Okay, Chase Burns out of Tennessee was taken the number 2 overall pick in the 2024 draft by the Reds. He's on a $9.25 million signing bonus. He is known for his velocity. Let's see, fair amount of wake. He only allowed 10 home runs that year last year. He's known he's an athletic right-hander that is still working on his changeup. Currently, he is an A-ball. He's had 2 games started. He's an 0-1, 1.17 ERA, 7 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 3 hits, 3 walks, 13 strikeouts. Not bad. No home runs yet. Not bad at all for him as well. Yeah.
So that was our number 32 ranked prospect in our tier list. Number 31 is another guy with a great name. Cardinals pitching prospect Tink Hence.
Tink Hence. Okay. He again drafted by the Cardinals. He's already proved everything. Hence was added to the 40-man last off season. He became a Rule 5 eligible, so he's there. He has shown strong results. 2.71 ERA with 109 strikeouts in 79 2/3 innings in Double-A Springfield. But he's dealt with issues, with lat issues, chest issues, and shoulder issues. He is currently in Double-A Springfield. He has started. That can't be. Maybe 20 games already. I don't know if he's already started 20 games. Has there been 20 games already in Double-A? I don't know if that's correct. This is off of MLB's website, guys. This isn't me bringing that up, but
that might be right.
His ERA, or maybe he hasn't made it started this year. I don't know. It says 2.71 ERA, which is what I mentioned earlier. So maybe it is. Maybe that is true. 59 hits, 5 homers, 26 walks. Yeah, I would say something along those lines. So yeah. So he's makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
And our last prospect that we are ranking today is our number 30 prospect. It is Cubs infielder / outfielder Owen Casey.
Owen Casey. Okay. Owen Casey. Okay. He's a Canadian outfielder. He was signed by the Padres in 2020, 45th overall. He pitched in high A ball in 2022 and moved up to double A. Was hitting 278, 375 OPS. That's like percentage of 472, 19 homers. Triple International League, he was the second youngest batting qualifier at 21 years old. So far this year, Casey is in AAA. Yeah. So he has
Iowa.
he has already played. I don't know if these stats are right. There's no way there's been 127 games in AAA, so I don't know if he's got a game in
That's
this year.
probably combined between this season and last.
Okay. 278 he's currently hitting as far as average. 375 OPS, 472 slugging. OPS is 847 so far this year. So those are the prospects. I
For
apologize,
this
guys.
show today.
I will be more inclined to get those out to you, those stats faster to you guys on Thursday.
As Thursday will be 29 through 1. We stopped at 30 tonight. We were supposed to do up to 29, but we kind of miscounted with our prospects. It only had 30, so 29 through number 1 will be on Thursday. But there's still more show to go today. There we go. As we now will round the bases, and we start at first base with a guy that I mentioned we would talk about, and that is Trent Grisham of the Yankees. What's gotten into Trent Grisham? He's not been much of a home run hitter his whole career, and all of a sudden now he has 4 home runs.
Well, that's what happens when you play in Yankee Stadium. Is he a left? Well, yeah, obviously most first basemen are left-handers, and
No, he's an outfielder.
He's an outfielder. Okay. Is he lefty? Is he lefty? Lefty.
I think he's a switchy.
Because you have that nice short porch in right field at Yankee Stadium, so and the Rays are enjoying that at Steinbrenner Field.
Yeah, we will get to that in a little bit on round the bases. But
in all reality, I mean, that's the Yankees find these guys, and there are guys that don't hit, and then all of a sudden they hit. So he's just one of those guys is benefiting from that great lineup that the Yankees have.
Rounding first, going to second. Did you see Bryce Harper with his gender reveal yesterday during the Phillies game?
Yeah. That's only the Bryce. That's a Bryce Harper thing. Come on, guys. I mean, you're not surprised.
Well, they said Trey Turner had a part in it too.
Okay.
Trey Turner's the one that gave him the bat. So if that doesn't tell you all you need to know about Bryce Harper, then
yeah. Yep.
I'm not sure what does. Rounding second, going to third, and I don't know if my co-host wants to talk about this, but the Red Sox yesterday giving up 9 runs in the third inning.
It's a mixed team. You know, we just lost 2 out of 3 to the White Sox, guys. Yeah, 2 out of 3 to the White Sox over the weekend. So, and then we come to Tampa.
And we will get to recapping those in a second, but recapping the Rays and Red Sox. Rounding third, going home, we've got what is going on with the Orioles?
I think they miss Gunnar a lot. Really, I think that's showing when you lose a
Well,
guy
no,
like,
he's back, and they're
oh, he's
still
back.
not. Yeah,
Okay, I
I
didn't,
think it's the pitching that's really costing them.
and it's early on, but again, that can catch up to you too, because if you don't get that fixed, even if you do get it straightened out later on in the season, you're going to be too far back to catch up. So yeah, is there, or are they in last in the
Yep.
AL East? Okay, yeah, 6-9. They are
And
last in the
I
AL East.
know it's early in the season, but my prediction for them finishing fourth right now looks
Good,
pretty
pretty.
good.
Yep.
The one team, and we're going to briefly talk about this right now. The one team I might be wrong on in the American League East is the Blue Jays.
I was just about to say that Toronto is right there. Toronto is in second place behind the Yankees with a record of 9-8. They're only a half game out of first place right now in the AL East.
And the Rays are third, and I think the Rays are like a game and a half.
They are a game, but 8-8. They're a game back. Game back.
And you know what? We're going to, before we get to recapping the series that the Rays and the Red Sox had last week for the Red Sox, it was the White Sox, and for the Rays, it was the Braves. We're going to briefly talk about last night's game and the Cameron Meisner masterclass. 2-homer game for a guy that's never had a 2-homer game in his career. And I think I talked about it in in spring training. How I thought Cameron Meisner, if he made the team, if he got off to a hot start, and I know you're supposed to get Richie Palacios back, which that means Coco Montez, unfortunately, is probably going to be the odd man out. But when you get Johnny DeLuca and Josh Lowe back, who's going to go down to the minors? Who are you going to send down? You can't send down Meisner if he keeps hitting like this.
No, he's going to be in the lineup for a while. I can't. He's the one that had the walk off hitter, the walk off home run in the
on
first
opening
game.
Day. Yeah.
Kind of hard to send a guy back down if he's hitting like he's hitting now. 2 home runs in yesterday's game against the Red Sox. So yeah,
and then same with a guy like Jake Mangum, who, how do you send him back down?
Yeah. Well, it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem.
And coming into the season, Rays fans, including me, we were concerned about our depth in the outfield if something like this happened, where Palacios is down, Josh Lowe's down, and Johnny DeLuca's down. And I read something the other day. The Rays didn't even consider looking at Chandler Simpson to call him up when DeLuca got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I understand why, because you don't want to rush somebody like that up to the big leagues. But then again, what's the problem of rushing him up? You know he's going to hit. He can steal bases. He plays really good defense. And I want to say this, Rays fans, be patient on Yandy Diaz. I think he's starting to break out of his slump he was in the beginning of the season. Back-to-back games with a leadoff home run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know we dog on Brandon Lau, but and what did I say before the season about Brandon Lau? If he could stay healthy, we could see another 30 home run season out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, yep. I understand he's going to have a lot of strikeouts, but he's also going to hit a lot of home runs. And I think the other guy that's starting to kind of break out, he was a top prospect for the Rays, Junior Caminero.
Yep.
And then eventually you're going to get Hassan Kim back. He's going to play short because we know Taylor Wallace, he's good defensively, but he can't hit worth the brighter side of a barn.
Yeah, they mentioned that, but on the radio this morning that Taylor Walsh can't hit, and he's been given opportunity after opportunity to find a way to hit, and he's going to lose his spot in the lineup because
Well, is there a chance he loses his spot on a roster? Because you got Carson Williams I think in AAA that's ready to come up whenever the time may be.
you might see him come up sooner than later if that's the case. Yeah.
And just a little teaser, Carson Williams will be in our rankings on Thursday. He was not in the rankings today. I think both of us are. Are you high on Carson Williams like I am?
Yeah.
I think he's top 5 prospect in MLB.
Yep.
And I'm going to say this, and again, if y'all disagree with the first half of our rankings, let us know in the comments. And you can also find this, and I didn't tell my co-host this, you can find the podcast now on Spotify if you want to listen to the audio version. But on to the Red Sox now. I know they lost 2 out of the Rays, and we'll get to it in a second. I know we're kind of taking a long time on this, but when do the Red Sox call up Roman Anthony?
Well, it's soon. I mean, it hasn't
Where's he going to play though? Because Willier's playing out of his mind.
Yeah, well, he's been one of the bright spots on the team. Devers didn't start off very well. Started to come back around, I guess. I don't know.
Bregman's,
it's coming around. I mean, there's just and Duran hasn't really gotten off too good of a start either this year. So he was a good leadoff hitter last year. So it's all over the place, where we're having issues. But Alex Cora is a good enough manager to figure this all out. It's early enough to where we don't have to hit the panic button. It's way too early to do that. So, it's the first couple weeks of the season, or first month of the season's almost done. But yeah, it's not time to push the panic button yet.
Now, as a Red Sox fan, do you think? And I'll give my 2 cents about the race. Do you think the Red Sox are done making moves? Whether it be going out and trading for a top of the line starting pitcher like Dylan Cease or Michael King or Sandy Alcantara, because I've heard the Red Sox name in that group of 3 pitchers. And at one point, they had an offer on the table for Cease, but the Padres at the last minute said no.
No, I think if you have a team that they think that can contend, I don't think anyone is safe. I don't think anyone's safe as far as them being done trading people or anything like that. So no, I would say no. I don't think the Red Sox.
I mean, to get Cease, you're going to have to give up a couple top prospects.
Oh yeah, no, that's definite. If you're going to give up, you're going to give up.
I'm going to say this: the return, you're lucky the White Sox didn't ask for more for Crochet.
Correct. You're exactly right. Yep.
Because if they did, I think the Red Sox would have said no. Because at one point, I heard they wanted a package that centered around Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, and Yoshida.
Yeah.
And the Red Sox said no right off the bat.
As they should.
Obviously, you're not giving up Meyer and you're not giving up Anthony. Now, Yoshida is a different story. I think that was the reason they threw him in there is the White Sox aren't going anywhere, so they can take on some money.
Yes, correct. Well, that's the thing. See, the White Sox are in the middle of a rebuild, so they like you said, they can take on some money.
And then they can reroute that guy at the deadline and trade him.
Correct. The thing about Yoshi is I don't know if he he came over. He started off pretty well, but he's had injuries and stuff like that. So I think that's delayed him a little bit as far as playing time and all that stuff. So he might be one of those that they end up trading away for
DFA.
or DFAing, so we'll have to wait and see.
Ooh, see, yeah, but then you would have to eat the rest of his contract.
Yeah, so I don't know if the Red Sox are going to want to eat his contract. So
For the Rays, I've heard them in the not Dylan Cease, but I've heard them in that conversation for a guy like Alcantara. I'm like, I don't see it happening, even if we're in contention at the deadline. Because then again, like you just said about the Red Sox, the Rays would have to do the same thing if they wanted Alcantara. They would have to give up probably 2 or 3 of their top prospects. And I mean, their farm system is pretty loaded. It's one of the best. But I don't think they would want to give up a Carson Williams, a Trey Morgan, Xavier Isaac, Ian Seymour to get a guy that's.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, Alcantara does have team control, but I don't know if it's worth it.
Well, the thing too is, remember now, Sternberg's not one of those people who likes to pay a lot of money, so that's another thing that could work in the Rays' favor too. He brings these prospects up and then sends them away because, fortunately, he's not one of the greatest owners in the league.
No, and we will talk about more about that later with the stadium.
Yeah, correct.
Toward the end of the show.
Yeah, I can't see them dumping prospects, knowing. Yeah, no, the Rays aren't like that. They're not one of those. Their front office doesn't just dump picks for a player. They like to develop players. They always have. That's what they've had to do. So no, I can't see that happening.
And now Bradley is going to recap the Red Sox 3-game series from last week against the White Sox.
Yeah, guys, like I said earlier, the White Sox took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox. Not any of the game. I mean, we did win. Crochet did do well in his return. That was the game that we won 3-2. But the other 2 games were ugly. And the game last night was ugly against the Rays. But yeah, it's our starting pitching hasn't been great. We haven't been able to hit consistently. It's just there's not a lot to recap. Then right now it's just not good. It's not good. It's just not good right now in Boston.
And I think when we went over the Rays schedule to start the year, what did we say would happen against Atlanta?
I think we said they were going to get swept. Is that right? What we said?
Yes, it is. And the opposite happened.
They swept Atlanta. Yeah.
No, they took 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. Okay.
And as you can see, I'm stunned that they took 2 out of 3 from Atlanta. But I tell people that's the Braves without Acuna and Strider, they get back this week. And the Rays, as we know, last night, they had a home run barrage against the Red Sox.
Yes, they did.
And now we will get to talking about the stadium and torpedo bats. But we're going to briefly talk about what do you think the pitch count / innings is going to be for Spencer Strider in his season debut on Thursday?
Is he Bud coming off Tommy John surgery?
He is coming off of. I don't think it's. I think it's what McClanahan had, where they put a internal brace in his elbow.
Okay. He probably will throw, I would say at the most 80 to 90 pitches. He's not they're not going to throw him out there. He's not going to go out there. I don't think you see a lot of pitchers even get to that number. Even starting pitchers don't get to that number very often anymore. But yeah, I can see 70 to 80 pitches for him. If he gets through 3 or 4 innings, that would be outstanding. It just depends on how that arm feels, and with McClanahan, it'll probably be the same way, I would imagine. With
Yeah,
McClanahan,
I was thinking 65, 75 pitches or 5 innings.
okay,
Because that's normally what it is when a guy's coming back from injury. Is
right,
they slow. I'm not going to say slow pitch him, but they slowly work him up.
correct.
And now we are going to talk about one more time. Talk about the Rays, and they start Joe Boyle, made on Sunday. Came up from
Yeah,
the minors and shelved. Gave up one. I think it was 1 earned run.
yeah, did very
And
well.
and what was the issue with him in Oakland? Walks. What did he not have in his first start as a Ray? I don't believe he walked anybody.
Yeah, let's see.
I know he had 5 strikeouts, which that was the one thing that's the one thing I liked about the Jeffrey Springs trade was Joe Boyle coming to the Rays, because I'm like, we know what the Rays are a pitching lab. It's where they get pitchers that have struggled. And
Uh,
Bradley, what do they end up doing?
he only had 2 walks, but 7 strikeouts in 5 innings pitched in a win.
So
Two,
that's better than what he had over his career in Oakland.
correct, correct. That is
And what do
correct.
the Rays do with pitchers that they pick up?
They mold them.
They mold them and they fix them, and and you see it with Shane Boggs. You see it with Ryan Pepio. They have a certain pitch they like. And what does Kyle Snyder tell them to do? Lean on that specific pitch.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Don't be afraid to throw it 40 to 50% of the time. And I'm shocked they sent Boyle back down to the minors after that start, because Boss is coming back from injury. Bradley's coming back from injury. Why wouldn't you have, for right now, until McClanahan comes back, a modified 6-man rotation?
I think they're kind of trying to get away from the 6-man rotation. I know that they were the ones who kind of were the first ones to experiment with it, but
Oh no, that was that was opener.
I think with him, you send him back to Durham. If anybody else gets hurt, he's the first one to get called up. That's what I mean. Maybe to give him a chance to pitch more in Durham before he comes back up. Give him a couple more games,
Because
maybe.
look at what the Twins are doing. The Twins are going to a 6-man rotation. But that's because they just lost Pablo Lopez.
Yeah.
But then again, could you see the Rays doing something like that to limit like a Shane Boggs who's coming back from injury, and same with Taj Bradley?
I don't know. Shane Boss looked pretty good last night.
Oh, he did. Filthy. I mean, limit, not to limit him to 1 start per week, because that's what the Dodgers are doing with Yamamoto and Sasaki. They're only pitching once a week right now.
I mean that they could go bring Boyle back up if that's what they want to do, but I think they're pretty good with the starting five that they have now. So if anything is to happen, that's a possibility that they do bring him up.
Well, and not to knock on the guy they called up, Eric Orrs. He did have a good spring. I'm intrigued to see him in the bullpen because I do know they needed a fresh arm in the bullpen, and Boyle probably wasn't going to be available in relief after going 5 innings.
Yeah, no, nope. In the playoffs, maybe, but not during the regular season.
Yeah, and now we're going to talk about a topic that has taken MLB by storm: the torpedo bats. And the Yankee, explain to the people what these torpedo bats are, if they don't know already.
So what it is, guys, is these bats have been developed, and what they are is they're crafted to the hitter. So, for example, if you hit the ball more towards the end of the barrel, they move more wood out to the end of the barrel. If you hit it more towards the logo, they move the wood into the logo. That is how they develop these bats. The players, just like if you are a golfer, you can go to these testing facilities. They test you, they measure you. This is how these torpedo bats are becoming popular. The reason behind it is when you have a guy like Paul Skeens who's throwing a curveball at 90 miles an hour, you got to do something.
Well, and he throws a splinker.
Yeah, and then that too. So pitching has gotten so well developed that the hitters are and again, and this is just my opinion, it may not be everybody's opinion, but MLB doesn't want to have pitching dominated. They want home runs. They want runs. They want to see people score because that's what draws the people to the ballpark. People aren't going to go to the ballpark and watch a no-hitter or a perfect game. If it happens, it happens. But those days of those types of games are over. They want to see offense. So what do? Let's bring these. And again, this is my opinion. If it was not the Yankees that used these first, if it was somebody else like the Royals or the Rays or the Nationals, no one would say a word. But because it was the Yankees and everybody except for Yankee fans hates them, that's why it was the big bring up and the topic on it. So are they cheating? No, they're not. It's legal.
Well,
they're not cheating. So.
And I agree with everything you said, but did you hear what Nestor Cortez had to say about it?
Oh, you mean the one that they hit 3 home runs in a row off of him in a row?
Yep.
The picture you're referring to? The former Yankee
Yes.
himself?
Yes.
Well, of course he's going to have an opinion. He got lit up by his former team. So, yeah, like I said, if it wasn't the Yankees, no one would say a word.
Yeah, I mean, no one would say a word.
I shouldn't say if it wasn't a big team like the Red Sox or the Phillies or let's say it was the Dodgers, it would be okay because everything that the Dodgers do is okay. Like you can push things down. They can do everything. So, but yeah, to me, it's just another way for the hitters to try to catch up to the great pitching that MLB has right now. So
yeah. Who is your? Because we got a couple more topics that we're going to talk about, but who is your pick to click this week?
Pete Alonso, the local kid from Florida.
You know what? I am going to go a little bit off the board, and I'm going to go with James Wood of the Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's cut all that hair off, he is raking. He just had a 2-homer game last game. And now we're going to talk about, and I've seen this all over social media, from Phillies fans that make videos on the Reds calling Ellie De La Cruz overrated. What do you have to tell Phillies fans about calling Ellie overrated?
Get a life. No, he's not overrated, and he is one of the fun. If
Oh,
that's
and
even a word.
then there's people saying, "Oh, Bobby Witt is way better than him in the field, makes less errors."
But well, first of all, he is one of the funnest players to go see in person. I got the luxury of last year of getting to see him against the Rays. He didn't steal a base till the third game, and he stole multiple bases in that third game against the Rays at Tropicana Field. But he's overrated, not even close. The reason that you're calling him overrated is he's not playing in Philadelphia. He wouldn't be overrated if he was playing for the Phillies. He wouldn't be overrated then. Um,
No,
no,
and
and
when I finish what you're saying, and then I'll
I'm gonna say as far as comparing him to Bobby Witt, they're not the same type of player. Ellie De La Cruz is a speed guy, gets on base, steals bases. Bobby Witt's just as good. He's better defensively, but Ellie makes that up with his hitting and his stealing bases. So even if he plays average defense, I still want him on my team. I don't care.
I
I
did
still
too.
want
And I think the only
him.
reason Phillies fans say that is because, and I said this to a Phillies fan the other day. I'm like, the only reason you're saying Ellie's overrated is because look at half of your team. Look at the guys you're paying: Castellanos, Schwarber,
Harper.
Harper, Nola, Wheeler. I know I'm forgetting Lizardo, Strom. You're that's half the team I just named.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, Bryce Harper was a very good outfielder. He is the most overrated first baseman there is.
I agree.
I can name you 4 first basemen that are better than Bryce Harper.
Pete Alonso.
Matt Olson, Pete Alonso, Paul
How about
Goldschmidt. When go, what
how
were you gonna say?
um how about Freddie Freeman? Or
Freddie Freeman.
yeah, Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers. I know he just came back from injury, but I'd put him as a better first baseman than Bryce Harper, in my
I would
opinion.
too. And a guy that's going under the radar, Josh Naylor.
Yeah.
There's 4 right there. And Phillies fans, if you want to say something in the comments, go ahead. We will take the hate you're going to give us. And
Yeah,
now we're going to talk about the stadium update for the Rays. And as we know, we've gone through this before. The Rays are putting money down on the Trop to have it fixed. But they don't have a new home when the lease is up. And there's no, as of right now, neither of us have heard if there's an update on if they're going to get a new stadium or if they're going to extend the lease with Tropicana. I'm going to say this. If you had to make an elevator pitch to the Rays and a potential, because I don't know if Sternberg's going to have the balls to sell the team, but make an elevator pitch to a potential new owner of the Rays. Say Sternberg does sell the team. Give me a 2-minute elevator pitch to a new owner for the Rays to have a new stadium.
Well, first of all, number one, Manfred needs to force Sternberg out. I don't care how it's said and done. Mayor Ken Welsh, who's the mayor of St. Pete, said, the deal was on the table for them to have a new stadium where Tropicana Field currently sits. Sternberg and them said, no, you delayed our vote. It cost us more money. I honestly believe that Sternberg and company didn't want to build a stadium in St. Pete. They were hoping that the city wouldn't be able to come up with the money. When they did, they were like, oh, crap, what are we going to do now? I don't think that Sternberg was even going to put the money up for the stadium. I think he wanted out of the deal. He wanted to make the money off of the gas plant district, which was the rebuild, which was part of the deal, was building them a new stadium. And of course, the city council's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Elevator pitch. The Rays are in the 12th largest media market, and it's a rising market. Again, we're not in the top 10, but it's a great market to be in. If I think, honestly, the fans of the team want the stadium in Tampa. They don't want it in St. Pete. They want it in Tampa. They have sold out every game at Steinbrenner. I know it's only 10,000 people, but every game they've sold out so far. So if anything, you want to put, I don't know where you'd put the stadium unless you go back to the Ybor site. Unfortunately, the land near Raymond James is owned by the Tampa Bay Sports Authority, which I don't know if they're going to give that land up because they make a boatload when there's games for the Buccaneers or the USF Bulls for parking. So I don't know how they would sell that land, if they could give the land away. I don't know if the Yankees let them build there anyway because they're so close to Steinbrenner during that. I don't know if you want to put a team that close to your AAA or to your spring training home. But I could, if anything, they need to get. There are investors out there. I've read online that there's groups of guys that want to buy the team. If Stu is, I know he's not made the greatest decisions in the world, but he needs to sell the team. You need to get some ownership in here that cares about the team, the fans. Let them build a new stadium in Tampa. Maybe they can have a co-op with St. Pete and Tampa where both cities throw money in, and they can make some deal with St. Pete, maybe like a transportation thing from St. Pete to Tampa. Who knows, some kind of thing like that. Maybe I'm thinking way outside the lines there, but yeah, the pitch would be put the new ownership, put the stadium in Tampa, and I think the Rays will be fine. Manfred's not going to let the team leave this media market, so
no, he's not.
Yeah.
My elevator pitch is basically the same thing. Except Stu, sell the team, and Matt Silverman is just he's in the same boat as Stu. He's Stu's little puppet.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Whatever Stu says, oh, here, Silverman, you take it and you put it out to the media.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, Sternberg and Silverman, we don't buy any of your baloney that you're putting out at all.
I like that.
We don't. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this episode, I will be putting it up on Spotify after we're done, and my co-host will be putting it up on the NGSC Sports website. And please leave a comment on the video on our tier rankings for for prospects, or when we talked about Ellie De La Cruz, the Reds, Rays, Red Sox, or any questions you have on baseball in general. And we will see everybody on Thursday. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. And go Lightning!
Go Bolts!